Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Julio and Ice pod. Make sure you subscribe, like, leave a rating and a review on all of the platforms, but specifically Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. You can also check us out on Twitter and IG at Julio_Ice_pod.
That's right, Who. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email us at the Julio and Ice pod at gmail.com.
I got some thoughts inside my head, I like to get them out. I'll sit and tell you all the things that I've been thinking about.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 6th episode of the Julio and Ice podcast. I'm your host, always handsome Julio Vasquez, checking in from the 203. I'm with the icy one, the pricey one, Matty Ice. Talk to me nice.
You always got a new line for me. I love it.
You got Biggie in the back?
One.
You got Biggie?
That's Biggie. That's the goal right there. What a poster.
It looks like he's definitely got a story to tell.
Oh, he's got a story. He's got a story for you. Episode 6, we got a great interview with our third overseas player. It was a really cool perspective. This is a player from Julio's hometown of Waterbury. And I always, even though it was directly not a story about Julio, it's a story about his, like someone from his hometown. So when he talks about, how underrated the talent is in Waterbury, this is a perfect example of it.
Prime example. Mike's my guy, younger than I am, the all-time scorer in the NE10, Division II, a lot of adversity. Great story, man. I'm excited for Mike. I'm excited for him to share his story. And he's on the pod, he's got a chip on his shoulder, man. And we like that.
I like that. Talk your shit. I like that.
But before we talk more hoops and we get into the interview, Matty, I wanted to talk about something really quick for 4 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. It was something that you and I talked about, before we even started this pod, because obviously we talk a lot about basketball. We talk a lot about adversity. People don't talk about genuine love, Matty. This was actually inspired. This conversation was inspired by a podcast that I listened to recently. It was the I Am Athlete with Brandon Marshall, Ocho Cinco, and those guys. This was also inspired by Trayvon Butler, who was a Husson University basketball player, former player, Waterbury guy, conference player of the year in that league. He just came out with a podcast too, and he's discussing mental health. Did you see that? Did you happen to see that at all?
Yeah, I actually did listen to that. It was pretty good.
So those things are some of the things that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't want to get too deep into it. So I kind of just want to keep it basic for the listeners and the viewers. And this is my thought, okay? Agree with me if you don't. But my grandmother passed away about 2.5 weeks ago, Maddie. And, as anybody knows, whenever you lose somebody special in your life, especially a grandmother who tends to be the glue of the family, when you lose someone like that, the people in the family, they kind of sit around and they start to reflect, right? We're reflecting. They're kind of wondering how to be better people from that point on. And Maddie, don't get me wrong. I was extremely sad about my grandmother passing away. Extremely sad. She was, like I said, the glue. She was the person, who I spent the majority of my growing up with. She basically raised me. So losing her was extremely difficult. She was a huge family person. But I noticed my family doing that. I noticed my family being extremely remorseful in a sense, like regretting how they spent time with people and regretting how they treated people. And Maddie, I kind of stayed in that thought for about 10 minutes. And the only reason I stayed in that thought for 10 minutes was because probably a year and a half ago, and you know this, I went through a traumatic experience. I went through an extremely traumatic experience where I had to reevaluate who I wanted to be as a person, right? And a year and a half ago, I made the decision to just be literally, genuinely about love. 100% love, Maddie. And I know it sounds really trippy. I know this hoodie doesn't make it any better, but it's something that I've taken very seriously. Now, growing up, as a teenager, being in college, you make a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. I wasn't good to people all the time, and you knew that because I vented to you a lot about that. But once I made the decision about a year and a half ago, and probably a little bit sooner than that, to just be genuinely about love, be supportive, caring about my people around me every day, my life has gotten 100% better. It's gotten 100% better. I take care of the people who are important to me. And the only way I take care of them is by expressing my love to them. Now, what I mean by that, Maddie, it's a simple thing. Say it. Say that you love them. Maddie, you and I have that conversation all the time. We have a conversation for 45, 50 minutes. And what do I usually say when we get off of the phone?
Love you for free.
Before I love you for free, it was always, I love you, bro.
Yep.
I love you. I always tell you I love you. Anybody knows, whoever I get off the phone with, even if I'm ending a text conversation, I tell them that I love them. And that goes a long way. I never get off the phone with my parents without telling them I love them. My girl, I love them. The kids that I train and I spend all of my time with every day when I leave practice, I tell them that I love them. And I think that's really like a basic thing that can really adjust the people's minds who are growing up, going through adversity, or people who are growing up kind of hating what's going on around them, And I guess that's the message. I guess that's the message for today. I want to read off something here that would help those young people who are obviously going through a tough time. And it's called the 7 Rules of Life. I don't know if you've heard this, but I found it somewhere and I kept it on my phone for times like this. All right. The 7 Rules of Life. Number 1, let it go. Never ruin a good day by thinking about a bad yesterday. Number 2, ignore them. Don't listen to other people. Live a life that's empowering to you. Number 3, give it time. Time heals everything. Number 4, don't compare. The only person you should try to beat is the person you were yesterday. Number 5, stay calm. It's okay not to have everything figured out. Know that time will get you there. Number 6, it's on you. Only you are in control of your happiness. And number 7, smile. Life is hard. Well, what does it say here? Life is short. Enjoy it while you have it. So basic stuff, Maddie. I'm not trying to be the Zen master of the podcast. I'm really not. I'm thinking somebody who's been through a little bit, somebody who knows just a little bit about overcoming. And I know a little bit about happiness. And I think I found that, man. I'm 30. You know what I mean? It's cool over here. It's calmer on this side of being 30. And as long as I'm expressing and telling the people that I care about, that I love them, I mean, my life's going to be okay for the rest, forever.
Yeah. And I think what's cool about, like you just said, you saved that on your phone. And I think stuff like that can help you, again, put things in perspective and also just remind you on a daily basis. Like, I still have the Mamba mentality screenshot on my phone. Because again, when you wake up, you look at your phone and it's just like the 5 pillars of the Mamba mentality. And I just like, to me, that helps me start my day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. The other one I like is the shark one, but I don't know if I told you that one.
Oh man, I mean, I get those stuff from you too. I get those things from you. You send me those things. I save all those things too. And I don't have to express my love for you. You know how I love you, brother. You know that.
It's mutual.
Let's move on. Let's go on. Let's talk some hoops now. Let's get into this thing. What do you got for me today, Maddie? Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing I wanted to hit on real quick in our interview with Mike, I thought he made me think about it right away, was finding your fit. And if you listen to this podcast and you're a high school athlete and you're trying to get recruited, or you are getting recruited, I think it's important to understand that it doesn't really matter, honestly, where you actually go to play college basketball. I think the most important thing is you find the right fit and a coach that you believe in and that you trust. And I think Mike really hit that on the head, kind of talking about his experience. Because I think he just, like he'll say that he wanted to be a Division I player because that's, you want that namesake. But he ended up being a Division II player and took his opportunity. And I mean, crushed it, obviously. But it made me think about, my experience in that recruiting. Everybody's recruiting process is different. And, I really was stuck on trying to go Division II because, I had people that told me I was good enough. And again, at the time when you're a kid, or a senior in high school, you're going to listen to some people. I don't think it's my, talent level that determined whether I was, D2, D3. Sometimes it's just, situational, or obviously, your height or build and stuff like that. So at an actual talent level, I don't think people really think about that, like, how I just explained it. But I think the best advice I ever got was from my dad. So shout out to Kev.
Shout out to Kevy Cat.
And, I was stuck between either going to St. Joe's or Franklin Pierce, and trying to go to Franklin Pierce. Now, the situation was obviously at Franklin Pierce, I probably would have been, a preferred walk on. I wouldn't have got a scholarship, but they said, I could walk on. And at St. Joe's, obviously, I really liked Santa Cole. He really made a difference in trying to, make a relationship with me while he was recruiting. And obviously I knew he was really interested, and it was a great program and all that kind of stuff. And I was stuck between the two. And, I was blessed to have my dad, give me the best advice any person could give me. And he said, hey, do you want to go to Franklin Pierce and probably sit for, 2 years and then maybe play your junior year, maybe play your senior year? Or do you want to go to St. Joe's and play right away and play as a freshman and play for 4 years? Because at the end of the day, he's like, Matt, this basketball game, is going to end. Your basketball life's going to end. You're not going to be in the NBA.
Damn, Kev.
Yeah, but this is what
No, he's right.
Yeah, and I don't think parents nowadays put this in perspective. Like, he put it all in perspective for me. He's like, take the best opportunity you have, make the most of it, and have fun with it. You could go somewhere where I didn't really have a relationship with the coach at Franklin Pierce, but it was D2. And obviously my experience, and I would never change it for the world, but it took that advice. And I think that's the advice I would give to kids is, hey, you got to find the best fit for you. And who cares at the end of the day, where it is, what division it is, make the best out of your opportunity.
You made it your own. You definitely made it your own, Matty. I mean, you came in and, after everybody left, everybody knew that St. Joseph's College was, it was Matt and the crew. You know what I mean? And obviously it's bigger than basketball too. You know what I mean? You saw what the atmosphere was like. You've seen the camaraderie, the family type. And we talked about that with Zach last pod. I kind of thought the same way you did. What did I want to do for 4 years, and who are the people I wanted to be around? And, shout out to Kev, man, because you told me all the conversations you and him would have, during those crucial times. You wanted to transfer at one point. Now, I don't think it was because of basketball, more or less. It was more of a different situation.
Financial situation. Because again, he always kept it real with me, and, he put everything in perspective. And it wasn't like I was having a bad experience at St. Joe's, but, again, I'm happy, that I went back, because then we went to England and, went from there. And it's just like, again, I would never have those opportunities and memories if I didn't have that experience. So, I can't thank him enough for having that conversation, just keeping it real. That's what I do with kids that I coach, kids that I teach, like that. I think that's my job, is I keep it real with them, and I try to give them small doses of reality.
Yeah.
Sometimes in this world that we live in, most people don't give, especially their kids, like as parents, I see it all the time. They're denying reality.
You're right. And the people who are trying to make those decisions for you of where to go, where you think you should go, have never even been in the position that you were in.
No,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
that's what I'm saying.
Your father, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. My dad never, like, here I am averaging 25 points a game my senior year in high school. My dad didn't even think I was good enough to play in college. You know what I'm saying? But that's the difference of, how parenting, I'm not saying used to be, but like how lucky I was to have realistic parents with realistic goals, and, to keep you in check. Because, I've seen even peers of mine who were in high school, and, as a sophomore, their parents think, oh, he's a D1 athlete. It's like, no. Or you got to transfer to a prep school, or You got to do all that. You see that. I see that, all the time with kids now, kids I played with, I think if you're that good, it'll all work itself out. But like, it's funny. I think about it. Our sophomore year, we ended up scrimmaging Franklin Pierce and we beat them.
Pretty good.
Yeah, we beat them by like 15 to 20, and they were a good team, and we beat them. So that's why I say, like, divisions, I mean, obviously, if you can get a full ride, hey, it's free education, take it. I don't think I wouldn't, hate on anybody for doing that. But still, you could take it and end up in a situation you don't want to be in. But, I think Mike explains it well. Like, he played in the NE10, like, there are some really, really good players at any level. And I know, me and you have played them. So even at the D3 level, like there's good basketball players everywhere. So just find your fit. If you feel like you said, genuine love from your coach and you believe in that and you want to go play for that program and that coach, then do it.
I like how you snowballed it all together. I got genuine love. And
yeah, that's what I do. Transition that I guess we kind of, me and you were talking about like training sessions. Obviously I think you're the one-on-one guru.
Stop it. Don't do that.
Dude, I love your training session. So give me like, what's your focus? You go into a training session with a kid. Now, obviously every kid is different, right? So you might have a different plan for each kid, but give me just a basic, what do you do in an hour training session with a kid? What do you focus on?
So, I mean, preferably now, I enjoy the high school athletes. So I'll just kind of use a high school athlete as an example. So, if I'm just going to say this is a senior who, is looking to play in college, gym rat. I kind of keep it the same every workout with the ending kind of changing with game situation. So if I can break it down with times, we'll be here all day. But I start off, we got to stretch, right? Let's keep it really simple. Gotta stretch. Get the hammies loose. We do the stretching. We stretch for about 5-6 minutes. You know what I mean? Because again, high school athletes don't really stretch. I didn't really stretch in high school either. I was kind of just like, let me throw my pro models on and I'm ready to get busy. And I regret it. I regret not stretching. Yeah. So I emphasize stretching in the beginning of workouts. After workouts, we hit the ladder. Get your feet moving, get your footwork right. The ladder is such a basic thing to do, but once you start figuring out different combinations of the ladder, it becomes a challenge. And that's how kids kind of work up a sweat and get their footwork at the same time. So stretch, ladder, and then I don't even shoot yet. I go strictly ball handling. So ball handling, really basic combinations, inside out crossover, right hand inside out crossover. Let's go to half court and back. I might toss you a basketball, toss it back, same thing, in and out crossovers, between the legs, in and out crossovers, just giving them the basic package to kind of be able to break guys off of the bounce. All right. I'm not sham godding. I'm not doing shit like that. I'm kind of just keeping their package tight before the workout actually kind of starts. Then we do a lot of the fundamental stuff, form shooting. All right. We're doing form shooting, 30 makes, 10 on the left, 10 on the right, 10 in front, 30 makes. Miking, reverse miking. After that, we start going floaters from outside the paint a little bit. Let's get our touches going. Okay.
Flotation device.
Yeah, flotation device. Flotations. Let's get it off the glass. So you got to get the angle. Let's get the angle off the glass. You're in front of the rim. Let's get them off the glass. Just working on touch, getting our touch right. Maybe a quick rinse. And after a quick rinse,
quick splash.
Quick splash. Everybody get a quick splash.
Coach Franco. Quick splash.
Quick splash. And then I kind of just start getting them going with shots. If guys want to play in college, and guys who think they can play, guys, you got to show them that you can put the ball in the bucket a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
I mean, a little bit. Everybody can't be Pat Bev. You know what I mean? Not everyone's Pat Bev. So we work on the midi. I'll just feed him a whole bunch of shots. It's just me and him, middies. Let's go around the horn, middies. And then we'll start getting going. Okay, so now we're behind the three. I'll swing it to him like we're in a game situation. And this is where you were really good, Maddie, too, because we talk about training all the time. Like, all my stuff is game speed. After we start getting just our touches going and just like standstill jump shots going. It's game stuff, man. So I'll have them come down on the right wing, dribble to the corner, reverse it to me on the wing, and I give it back to them as if it's like a game read. So they give it back to me, I'll give it back to them. Lift fake, one dribble pull up. Let's work on our one dribble pull up. Game speed, right? Let's not have wasted movements, no wasted dribbles. Game speed. Let's knock down 3 to your left, 3 to your right. Do it on the wing, do it in transition, top of the key. After that, Maddie, like I said, it starts to intensify. It gets extremely intense. Get in transition, stop at the elbow, pull up, right? Let's come in transition, guys backing off of you, pull up again. Now you're in transition, guy contests your pull up, let's drive by him, let's get to the paint, let's make finishes. Inverted finishes, high floated finishes, but as if somebody's closing you out in transition, right? Can't just work on the pull up. After that, we're doing a lot of P&R stuff, a lot of pick and rolls, just the type of reads. So I hedge the ball screen a lot. I ice the ball screen a lot. Being a good passer out of the pick and roll. So pocket passes, hook passes, and kind of playing the two-man game. Because the, NBA and college game, it's how can you play in the two-man game, right? And then after that, I kind of just ended with just shooting. We're just going to shoot the shit out of the basketball. We're going to really shoot rep shots. And one of my biggest thing here, and I'll end this this ongoing bullshit, what other people might say might be bullshit, but I end it with jump shots, but they can't get off each spot until they make 3 in a row. You want to be a great shooter.
Why is that bullshit?
Well, I'm just saying people are probably looking at me like, oh, I can do that shit too. But when you're in the workout,
because you're already tired at that point.
Yeah, me as a trainer and the person, I'm fucking tired because I'm throwing great passes every single time. I'm screening the shit out of him. I'm hedging him hard where like he's hedging and he's coming off the hedge and I'm pulling this jersey. Like I'm in the workout sweating bullets. You know what I mean? Like for $25 an hour. Sometimes it's $25 an hour. You know what I mean? Grinding. But I end it with, going back to my point, I end it with you have to make 3 in a row to get off the spot. So you have to make 10 in that spot, like catch and shoots, but your last 3 got to be in a row. You want to be a shooter. You want to be a consecutive mix. You got to be consecutive mix. Anybody could rip off 10. Yeah, let's see how many you're taking to make 10, bro.
Yeah, what are you taking, 50 shots?
And I would have a guy there in the corner in the first spot miss the last 3 probably. If we're counting the last 3 shots, he probably missed 25 shots in a row because they can't hit 3 in a row. And then they get mad at me like, yo, bro, why do I have to make 3 in a row? Because if this is what you want to do, motherfucker, you got to make 3 in a row. You're not going to get 30 shots.
It's a mental thing at that point.
Exactly.
Too.
It's the
huge
burnout.
Mental thing. Yeah,
especially for shooters, like guys who want to shoot. I think is if anybody can make 1, a good shooter makes 2, a great shooter makes 3.
It's like Coach Shannon Cole used to say, who in here is a shooter? Make sure you don't raise your hand when he asks that question.
Murray said about you though too. He was like, Maddie's not a shot taker; he's a shot maker. And I use that quote all the time with my kids.
Anybody can shoot a shot, but I think that's a great way to end your workout. I usually, you know what I actually do? Like after everything's done, I always make them make 3 free throws in a row to end it. And it's crazy when you see how many kids struggle making 3 free throws in a row. But
exhausted.
I mean, it sounds like you do one hell of a workout. And obviously I've seen videos of you doing it and it's creative and kids are on their toes the whole time. But I think the most important parts that you've hit on in your workouts that I agree with, obviously, probably my workout would look a little different than yours, but I think we're hitting on the same stuff is that, one, you need to have reps in whatever, shooting drills you're doing, you need to have reps. I think I'm huge on footwork. So I do a lot of stuff, either, with the dribble. I like doing a lot of stuff off the catch, and breaking that down. But I also think what you do a good mix of, and I do the same thing, is it's control drills and then reaction drills. Because a lot of times what I, see when you go on YouTube and see these people training, you're doing moves at a cone. A cone doesn't react. You're just processing the game so differently. Like, I agree with you. You have to, if you're training someone, either one-on-one or it's a small group, you have to be thrown into the drill. Like, you have to be live with them, because I like making kids react, because basketball is about reaction time, right? Whether you're making a move or not, you have to be able to react on the fly. Like
Yeah.
you're not going against a cone. You're not
Mm-hmm.
going against a chair, right? Because you can, in your brain, I can cross over at the chair.
Right.
Okay, what happens if you cross over and the guy jumps you, right? What's your counter move to that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I think to your point, I think if you're with a good trainer, you're with someone that, obviously has control drills. I don't think every drill is going to be live, but a lot of your drills have to be reactionary drills. And what can you take from a controlled drill and implement it in an action drill?
It's a game of instincts. Basketball is a huge game of instincts, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I emphasized it, but like everything is game speed.
Has to
It
be.
has to
Has
be
to be.
game. Yeah.
If you're in the gym, to me personally, if you're in the gym with a trainer for more than an hour, you're probably not getting much done
Right.
after that, or you're just not working that hard. Because if you're putting your body 100%, and after an hour, you should be toast. And that's all you really need. That's all you really need. Anything longer than that, I mean, it's like lifting. Are you really, getting what you need to be done? You're taking too many breaks. Like what, there's something going on if you're spending, I was in the gym for 3 hours. Well, what are you doing in there for 3 hours? It's bad time management. Like you really weren't going hard. So I agree with you. It's always about game speed.
I'm plugging myself there because game speed with Julio Vasquez is coming out for those guys in the city. Game speed. Ooh, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Those kids are lucky because, as a kid, you wish you had that.
Absolutely.
Someone that was willing to do all that, hop in a drill. Because, you see a lot of trainers. The other thing, too, that we got to stop doing with the pads and shit, trainers hitting you with pads. Yo, screw that. I'm going in there and hit you with my body because you don't get hit with a pad in a game.
Yeah, and to touch on that too, when, like you said, if somebody's just doing a move at a cone on the wing, right, coming down in transition, I got to move at the cone. I would let them do a move by themselves, no cone, obviously, kind of just do it dry. But then if it's weak, I would stand in front and just pick them.
Yeah,
like give me that shit. Is that going to work in a game? You're going to go that hard in a game? Give me that shit.
Well, it's funny because like when we were at North Andover, we used to do this drill. Coach Tangos would put them through this drill, and it's like kind of like a rip drill. And we used to, at the beginning, we were doing it with a cone, and then we played the first couple of games, and we couldn't get by anybody. Like these dudes like going east to west, not north to south. So I said the next day at practice, I said, Coach, let me get in there in this drill. I'll replace the cone. Dude, I almost like broke my hand because I was literally, every time the kids were ripping, I'm literally trying to punch the ball out and fouling the absolute crap out of them. Because when you get in a game, like, and you play against, a quick athletic team, they're up in your shit. So if you're in practice going against a cone, it's a lot different when someone's in your grill. So it was, I had a good time. I like that shit. I like that. I think it's fun.
It is fun. And it makes again, maybe it all circles back, and it makes like the experience with youth like so much more enjoyable because they know that you're not just there kind of just like, okay, all right, do this move here, drag it, snake it, and shoot. You're doing well. Like, no, bro, you're not doing well.
You're in there. You're in the trenches with them.
Exactly, and I think that's why we're cut from the same cloth, man. We kind of got the same idea, and
you brought up a good word, by the way.
That?
Instincts.
It's a game of instincts.
Did anybody that's listening to this pod watch that Denver Nuggets game when it was a 4-on-1?
Well,
and all three dudes stayed at the perimeter? Can you imagine that?
First of all, the
best. You imagine
that was the best player on the team who passed the ball and made that decision.
Yeah, that was, first off, horrible decision. But the other three dudes or whatever it was that were running down the court, you're down 2 points. No one has the instinct to run. Weren't you taught from like third grade to run the lane for a layup?
Fill the lanes, baby. Fill the lanes.
I'm telling you, this is the world we live in now. All three dudes running the perimeter. They don't even get a shot off.
And who shot it? Campuzzo?
Yeah, what's his name?
It's like Franco Campuzzo. He's nice though. Like he's an overseas guy.
He's a hustle player, but dog cut to the basket.
Get a layup. You know
down 2. It's like that's basketball IQ. Like it's amazing. Those are professional athletes literally making that mistake. But that's what we talk about: instinct, knowing basketball IQ, time and score, all that kind of stuff. Like I don't know, it stuck out to me, and I thought it made me think of that when you said basketball's a game of instincts. You have to understand a
The
lot
game. Yeah.
and on the fly, like in the moment. Like obviously in that moment, it's you steal the ball, you're going down. Like you have to have the instincts to be like, hey, I'm cutting into the rim for a layup. It's a 4-on-1.
The game has changed, hasn't it? It's changed dramatically, hasn't it?
Well, it's like I always make this point every year for like at Pike for basketball. We practice at 7 a.m, or it could be sometimes I run the intramural program there too for the kids that don't make the team or are trying to learn. The first 10 minutes before practice starts, if they're there, they're warming up. I watch all the kids. I watch every single one. I want to see what you're doing in those 10 minutes. And then usually in the first day, I bring them all in. I go, all right, so-and-so, what were you just doing in those 10 minutes? How did you get better? Because I can tell you didn't. You're chucking up shots, from 3. You can't even reach the hoop, or you're chucking NBA threes. Work on, in those 10 minutes, work on something that's going to get you better. Or you just wasted those 10 minutes. You might as well have just came in right when we started. And I make that a point because I think we waste so much time. Kids waste so much time. They don't really, focus on, okay, I'm in these 10 minutes, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Like
it's a mentality.
You miss a couple layups in the game. Do the mic and drill for 10 minutes. You don't get those 10 minutes back. And that's just the mentality I've always had. Like, get better in those 10 minutes. Don't waste your time.
It should be when you get right in the gym, it should be locked in. You know what I mean?
100%.
The gym, for those guys who really want to play at the next level or whatever level that you're playing at and you want to be successful, like once you get inside the gym with your backpack, just get right to business. You know what I mean? Do whatever routine it is that's going to help you, like you said, get better.
And I think, I hope COVID has like helped that mentality in some way, because I've had so many kids hit me up like, hey, do you know a gym I can get into? Like it's hard to get into a gym right now because of COVID. So, without having that availability, I hope that kids now, hold that sacred that time they get in the gym.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think we can start to wrap it up and get into Mike in a minute. But on that note, Maddie, with COVID being, such a prime factor in this year's seasons for the high school sports, for me personally, it's part of it is the kids' preparation for the season, how they prepared, and what excuses they didn't make. But also, I want to put a little heat on the coaches on those teams that are playing as well. From my experience now, I'm seeing a lot of coaches who, they're making it a huge excuse of, why their teams aren't playing well. You know what I mean? And I'm speaking from a personal standpoint because I knew my coaching staff, and maybe I'm a little biased, my coaching staff at St. Paul Catholic, shout out to those guys, we prepared prior, whether it's, group chats, whether it's, FaceTiming, whether it's meeting in person with masks, like we prepared for the upcoming season as if it was a full season. We didn't like make an excuse. We didn't come in here thinking, oh, well, this is kind of like a shit show. Like we came in with the mentality of how do we get the kids better? And how do we kind of keep the culture alive? And, I'm a little disappointed in some of the coaching that's been going on. And again, maybe this is a conversation for another pod, but don't tell me the reason why you're sitting in a fucking 2-3 zone for 32 minutes. The reason why you're doing that is because of COVID.
Yeah.
Like,
you
have a computer. There's the fireside chat. You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of shit that you could have done to be a better coach. So it's not just the players.
I think you brought up a great point, and I'll just go off that, is that Rick Gorman actually sent me this quote, the obstacle is the way. And yes. I thought it was a great quote, and I needed it at the time because I was staring at a daunting task of trying to create a, winter season. Obviously it's at my middle school level, we weren't going to play against other teams, but they still wanted me to create something for the kids after school, obviously safely with COVID and all that stuff, because it was at a high risk. And I thought it was pretty daunting. And I was like, I could have came up with the excuse and be like, oh, we can't do it. I can't figure out a way to do it. And once Rick sent me that text of, the obstacle is the way, I was like, hey, there's no excuses. Let's just get it done. Let's just find a way, plug away, and get it done. Just like you just said, get on Zoom, get on whatever. You're preparing like you're playing a full season. And if you prepare like that and don't find excuses, you're going to get good results. And I know your team's off to a great start. And I think that attributes to kind of that mentality and from the coaching and on down. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what? Let's end it on this quote here. I want to end it. Shout out to my man, Stephen Phelps. He's the head coach at St. Paul Catholic. He says this quote every day I practice because it's a true mindset that you can kind of carry with you. Play every day like it's your last, because it could damn right, it might will be. It might be. It might be your last day, with this situation. Coach and play like it's your last. You know what I mean?
Yep. Get off that AAU bullshit mentality. When you're playing in a game, play like you're competing like it. That's the championship game, no matter what game it is. That's the mentality you have, and that's I think if you want to separate yourself from others, that's the one you have.
And I think our guest separated himself. So this is our interview with Mike Mallory. And I hope people who are listening to the pod really take something out of this overall episode as a whole. So please enjoy this interview with Mike Mallory, and let's learn a little bit today. Okay, joining us live now is Michael Mallory. Michael Mallory is a Waterbury native. He's our first Waterbury guest on the Julio and Ice podcast. Mike, talk to me nice, baby. How you feeling?
What's up, fellas? Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, Mike, thanks, man. Mike, I've known Mike for a little while now, Maddie. So kind of knowing his stuff and knowing what he's been through this is going to be an interesting one for sure. Mike was a freshman when I was a senior from Waterbury, and I like to talk about people and like stories. When I first met him, I didn't first meet him, but I kind of first knew what kind of player he was when we played against each other. So, Mike, I'm gonna put you on the spot because you just had a better overall athletic career than I did. So I just want to put you on the spot. So Mike was a freshman. He's playing in the varsity game, Crosby versus Holy Cross at Crosby. Now, Crosby versus Holy Cross, it's a good rivalry. It's a really good city rivalry. And Mike
I already know what you're gonna say. I know exactly what you're gonna say.
But you talk about it all the time too, so I just want to bring it up really quick.
I'll give my side after.
So I catch it on the right wing. I'm on the right wing, and usually, Maddie, my go-to move when I'm in transition on the right wing. So between my legs, hard, Allen Iverson left to right crossover. Leave Mike in the dust. But listen, I leave him in the dust. Great move. I get to the Baja, right? Land on 2 feet. Remember, we're teaching the kids now. Landing on 2 feet in the paint, smoke the left-hand layup. Smoke the left-hand layup. And then we end up fucking losing the basketball game by 12 or 13. They just outplayed that.
You know what we call that, who?
What do we call it?
$million move. 10-cent finish.
10-cent finish, man.
Listen. On that move, at the time, that was by far the quickest crossover I've ever experienced in person. I sat down in my seat. I was like, all right, I'm here. And he did it so fast. I didn't even recover. And then after the game, big cuz Marcus Robinson comes up to me and goes, yo, you all right? I didn't see you for a while after it. I said yeah. That was like my welcome to the NBL moment.
Hey, you definitely had an NBL career though, bro. After that, Mike. Shout out to Marcus Robinson too. CT Select, big homie. CT Select, fill out. That's my guy. Marcus Robinson always show me love. But Mike, after that, man, you kind of just took the NBL by storm. The Naugatuck Valley League is obviously gifted with guards, and Mike Mallory came in, Maddie, and he was just incredible. You know what I mean? Just extremely athletic, extremely confident, can really shoot it. And after that, I mean, he scored over 1,000 points at Holy Cross. And you know what an interesting fact is about Mike? His senior year, you tore your knee or your meniscus? Which one was it?
I tore my ACL second game versus Naugatuck.
And then you ended up playing the end of the year, right?
I played up until the first week of February, averaging 30.
So this dude plays with a torn ACL, and I see kids now, they're out with a cut on their hand or something, or a cold.
Yeah, and so you played what, a total of Like how many games was it? You played
10.
10?
I want to say about 10.
You still
Around
made
8.
all league.
Yeah, hey, listen, like I told you before, it's gonna be a while. You gonna list them.
It's all league, all state, and you still won the city player of the year, right? Did
I
you
won
win
the
the Billy
Billy
Finn?
and it. I won the Billy and Donnie.
Under 20s, yeah.
Hey, shout out to Tehran because he tried to tell me on BJ's Instagram live that I won it because of my junior year, and I didn't get a chance to respond. I was gonna say, you know how nasty that is that I won a senior award my junior year. Good looks, Tehran. I love you, cuz.
Yeah, hey, it's all love, man. He understands. He knows you're the
I
goods,
love
bro. It don't
that's my
matter.
guy. He gave me the nickname Showtime. You know what I mean?
Showtime, man. I thought we gave you that nickname, man. Showtime. That
Nah.
is his name. Showtime Mallory, man. So after Holy Cross, you do a prep year. You're at Marionapolis. Is the injury still nagging when you're going to Marionapolis, or are you kind of just you recovered and you're kind of playing full and pretty healthy?
When I got to Marionapolis, it was just new. I didn't, I never had a major injury or any injury at that point. So I was trying to figure it out. Luckily, the trainer there, my man Buddy, he tore both his ACLs. He played football, and he was an athletic trainer. And every day, like I hated it, but when I look back on it, I love it. I loved it. I'm talking about I'll have class in the morning. Like I have one class, I will go back to my dorm, go back to class, then like around lunch for an hour, me and him get to work in, like hop on the bike, resisting up to like 12, 15, or leg workouts, things to work on my hamstring, because that's like the graft they took. They took a piece of my hamstring and put it in my ACL. Like we would do that. Then I'll go back to class, finish up. After school, I'm back with him, more therapy. Then guys got practice. I'm on the sideline, like college coaches that were coming to see me. Like we had a bunch of D1 guys on the team, but like a lot of coaches were like, they want to see how I was recovering and everything. College coaches, I'm on the side doing, two-hand ball handling stuff. I couldn't jump at a certain point, so I'm stationary shooting, and then I started all over again the next day.
Damn. Talk about facing adversity, man. Going through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that realm, so you're Holy Cross, Marionapolis. You played with CBC after Holy Cross, or you played it during that prep year or before that prep year?
I started playing with CBC going into my junior year, and I don't remember you remember Jordan Williams and Desmond's Torrington coach, like before he retired?
Tony Tarina.
Tony Tarina is the reason I got put on the CBC. He knew like the guys that run CBC, and they were like, we're looking for a guard that can run explosive, and he was like, I got one, and he named me. So I got Coach G after practice one day, was like, hey, CBC wants you. And I was like, at the time I was playing AU with Waterbury Ballers, shout out to my guys.
Shout out.
The family AAU team. And I got on the CBC. I went up to practice, and then come to find out, like the number one player in the nation is the center. I got Freddie Wilson, who I thought was at the time like top 2 guards, maybe not even 2 in the state. Tavon Allen, who can shoot left hand and right hand in the middle of a game. He just decided when. And then we had Chris Dunn, who at the time was like me and him were like twins, like on the basketball floor. And then he shot up to like 6'4". So
that was a stack. Tell him who the middle center is.
The center is Andre Drummond. And we're talking about NBA two-time All-Star, $100 million man, Andre Drummond. And that's my guy. He was super cool. And we had Khalil Dukes, who at the time, his freshman year, he led the state in scoring, and then his sophomore year, he led the state in assists. So
Khalil was nice. He went to USC, and then he had a great career at Niagara too, man. Pro. Mm-hmm. He's definitely a pro, man.
I was just watching this game this morning. He's playing in Turkey. So
it's crazy. It's like you were teammates with those guys, and those guys are making millions of dollars, but you kind of in that AAU atmosphere, you're with those guys every single day. So you're kind of building that relationship, as the season goes on. So you're doing that, and then you're traveling the world. You guys went to like the Final Four or something like that. Did you go to Nationals in the Final Four? You guys had these highlight tapes. Even don't forget about Phil Gaetano. When Phil was nice, man. He went to Sacred Heart University. Like, yo, you guys had a squad. I remember that team, man.
Phil was the first like true point guard.
Don't say that shit here. Don't say that shit here. Don't. I'm right here. I'm kidding.
We didn't even play together at the time.
I know.
You was in college. But that dude, when I tell you, he saw every pass before he even knew what play we was doing. Like, that's how Phil was. And I had Greg Langston, who was like my captain at Southern. And I had Deshaun Murphy, who, we just had like a super stacked team. And yeah, we finished my first year, we finished 4th in the nation at Nationals in Florida. And then we got in the Adidas Gauntlet. And I'm talking about, I'm playing Shabazz Muhammad, Yogi Ferrell. I can list off names like Marcus Smart, like
just guys.
Kyrie. Yeah, just guys. And it was just like, I'm from Waterbury, and these guys are supposed to be like the top of the top. So yeah, it was dope, man. AAU was dope.
Who is probably the best player you guarded in the like AAU circuit kind of thing?
Yogi Ferrell.
Yeah.
Yogi Ferrell introduced me to what a pick and roll is. Like, I had no understanding of it before. Like, obviously you see it in the NBA, you see it in college, like, oh, that's a pick and roll. But Yogi Ferrell put me through a cone drill in clinic. Like, I was like, yo, son, I didn't understand a hedge, I didn't understand under, through, down and icing, none of that. And he had control of the ball, super quick. And then when he come off, he'll freeze the heck out of the big. And then as I'm getting back, he might snap me back and then go the same way he was going. Like, Yogi Ferrell, I was like, oh, he's different. And then I think 2 weeks after, I found out he was the #1 player in Indiana and signed to Indiana.
It's so crazy. I mean, that's probably for a point guard, that's the one thing I think you need to master is manipulating the pick and roll. You know what I mean? Yes. For him to do it at such a young age, it's pretty impressive to hear, man, for sure. Yeah. Mike, so you're at Marianapolis. You're saying that the other Division I's are there. Who else was recruiting you before you went to Southern? Did you have major interest from Division I's that were ready to pull the trigger, or did you just pull Southern just because it was local and they kind of stayed on you during your process?
My recruiting process was weird, and it actually goes back to sophomore year of high school. We played Sacred Heart in like the big Sacred Heart Holy Cross rivalry, and
Holy War.
Holy War, and Josh Turner, who I don't know if you don't know, Josh Turner is probably at the time the most recruited player in Waterbury because Josh was like that. That's my skill wise, Josh Turner's up there. Like, don't disrespect that guy. He's like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he had Sienna at the game. And this is my breakout game. I had 32. And when we talk about Waterbury later, remind me, because there's a story leading into this 32 that I gotta say. But after the game, G comes to me the next day, was like, hey, I got a letter for you. And it's Sienna, and that's my first recruitment letter. And then that summer, I go with CBC, and we're playing in big tournaments and stuff like that. I end up getting that whole league, the whole MAC, the whole American East, and a good portion of the NEC. At this time, I had no D2, D3 interest, but I had when I tell you, almost at the finish line, just waiting for them to offer. I'm talking on the phone with coaches. I'm going on unofficial visits, Marist, Ryder, Quinnipiac. We playing in the Rumble in the Bronx, which is at Manhattan's gym. And that's always been my best tournament. So Manhattan's coach is talking to my CBC coach, talking to my pops. So now, they're talking to me and they're interested. I get up to Marianapolis. They're just checking on me there. But I also have some guys on my team that they're interested in. They ended up offering them and said, if someone leaves and we take away their scholarship, the scholarship is yours. Like that's the conversations we're having. People ended up leaving and they ended up going a different way. But luckily, Coach Macabika at Southern, he's a Holy Cross guy. Like he played with Mark Konecki and G.
Yep.
Like that's like,
Konecki.
so I knew Mac since I was like 12. And he told me before my senior season, before I got hurt, if anything ever happens, let me know and I got you. And when I tell you, end of the season came, I had NJYT, I had a LIU, Quinnipiac, Merrimack, which is in our league, and all of the other three basically said, you know, if something happens, we'll offer. They end up going a different way. I go on a visit to Merrimack. We hadn't played in like 3 weeks, so we playing pickup. They had the number one scoring guard in the league, and he torched me, Jelvis Solano, my guy. Like he plays for the Dominican national team and is their starting point guard. Remember, out of D2 too. And I ended up going to Southern, and I didn't even play. And Coach Donnelly and Coach Mack were like, yeah, it doesn't matter. You're number one on our list. Like, we want you. And my parents were there. We all did the visit together. We went out to eat, and like it was just love. It was love. So it made the decision pretty easy.
So, you know, people think when you think about Southern, it's kind of just like a, you know, it's kind of like a backup school for some people from our position. You know what I mean, Mike? But if you're
For
not
sure.
from Connecticut, if you're from different areas, people see Southern as a Division II program. And I think when you like a legit Division II program. But I think, Mike, when you got there your freshman year and you had that team with Murphy and who, I forgot who else you got. You guys had Murphy. You guys had Langston.
Greg.
You guys had Tylon. You guys were stacked, and you kind of made noise. You were NE10 Rookie of the Year. Yeah, you were coming off the bench for a little while, or did you come off the bench the entire year?
Whole year.
The whole year came off the bench. You guys won the NE10, right? And where did you guys go? How did you guys do in the Ncaa tournament? The Elite Eight? Was it Elite Eight?
You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to say it out loud, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? We won the region. But yeah, so that year's a blur because I thought it doesn't seem real. Yeah, we had 4 we ended up having 4,000 point scores on that team. Not Murph, excuse me. Greg, Tylon, my other captain, Luke Houston, who's my brother, and me. So that was 4. Greg won Player of the Year. I won Rookie of the Year. Greg was what is it? What is it in college? He was All-American on all lists.
Mm-hmm.
I made the All-American freshman team. And I came off the bench all year. I averaged 16, and we won the Sweet 16, the region, the NE10, went to Elite 8 in Indiana, and it was that year was absolutely a blur. It was crazy.
Mike, let me hop in. I would just say, I think if people that are listening to this that don't know you, it sounds like, you know, you like Julio described Southern as a place that maybe not like the highest destination from people from Connecticut. I mean, I wouldn't really know that, but it was interesting hearing that. But it seems like you just took the best, you made the best out of your situation, and you went somewhere where, like you said, it was all love. And I think that's what people who are getting recruited, it's not really about, you know, trying to get that name recognition of whatever college. It's more of like finding your fit and finding a coach that you believe in, and then making the best out of your, you know, situation.
Exactly. I mean, I was one of those kids too that like it's D1 or nothing. I mean, especially like where we come from, like that was the recognition. Like at the time it was DJ Montero, he goes to Duquesne's. Damian Saunders, he goes to Duquesne's and ends up going to LMU. So it was, and Tootie at the time was at LIU. So it was just like, oh, I got to. And then like when it came down to it and I talked to my family, I was like, I just feel so comfortable here. And like how Coach Donnelly and Coach Mack were just like, you're our guy. Like, you're the guy we want. And having hearing that trust, like, oh, they want me. Why would I go somewhere that someone's iffy about me when there's a program that wants me? And, and I think for kids now, I understand like where they're coming from because it's the lights, the glamour. But I don't know how to, like, when I tell a kid like, hey, if you get school paid for, how you're set up after college is super important. But it's tough to tell a kid that right now.
Yeah, and to your opinion, like the opportunities you had after college, we can get into that. Playing overseas. I mean, I'm assuming that whether you went Division II or I, they probably would have been the same opportunities because I think what people don't understand, like no matter what division you play in, there are really, really good players in each division. And just because you play in D2, like to me personally, you could play D1. Like that doesn't mean, I think we put like labels on stuff. Like me and Julio have played Division, 3 players who I'm like, yeah, this dude is not a Division 3 player. I mean, think about all the dudes at Albertus. Like those guys weren't D3 players.
Exactly.
But they probably had the same opportunities they would have if they played D2 or, D1. Obviously, like the scholarship is huge. Like if you get free education, by all means, I understand that. But I think the problem is, like you said, it's hard to tell a kid, like, go to a program that's your best fit, that you're going to have the most success, because I think in the end that helps you out in your next journey. So
exactly.
When did you know that, like, hey, like opportunities overseas was going to happen?
Mike, before you answer that, after you scored the point that made you the all-time leading scorer in any 10, right? That's what you're gonna say.
No, but that's up there. That's up there.
Yeah,
actually, I was gonna say, I mean, I want to like what Matt was saying. My league, the NA10, is a top 5 conference in all of D2, and people don't know this. D2 has less scholarships and less schools, so it's actually harder to get into a D2 than it is a D1.
Mm-hmm.
And in my league, the only reason you're in the NA10 is because something happened. So like me, I got injured, and then I had to end up going D2. Like there's transfer from Penn State, Ohio State, like big time programs, and they go to the NA10. It's a heavy guard league, so if you're a guard, like you better come play. But it's because something happened. So when people say like, about the D2, D1, D3, NAIA and stuff like that, I mean, basketball is basketball. I mean, Duncan Robinson played D3, then went to Michigan, then went to the G League, and now is the starting small forward or starting shooting guard for the Miami Heat. So, you know what I'm saying? Like when we get into pro stuff, there's like way more I'll say, but I started realizing it after I scored my 1,000 my sophomore year. Like the chance was real. Coach Donnelly left after that season, and we got Coach Scott Burrell. And when he called me, because I was actually debating if I wanted to stay or not, and he called me and was like, I respect whatever decision you want. I just want to let you know, I'm gonna run a pro offense, and I'm gonna make you a pro. And we're going to win games. So when he said that, I was like, okay. And then the moment he got there, I'm talking about, called me into his office, sat me on the couch, and they have a TV in their office. We're watching Milwaukee Bucks plays, and we had a whole system, Milwaukee horn set, pick and roll stuff. Like Coach Donnelly, and I break it up, and I told both of them this too. The difference between them, Coach Donnelly gave me the ultimate green light and freedom. And that's how that team was so successful, because we all can score and we all like knew our roles, and we did them very well. Coach Burrell, when he came in, just structured that and basically put us in pro sets that made the best of our abilities. And when he started teaching me pro thing, like I started learning real pick and roll and reads, and where the backside help's coming from, and where the skip pass is, and like when to split, when not to split. Hey, he's too far, pull up here. Oh, if he steps up, hit that bounce pass there, throw the lob right there. Like all that is, I started learning with Coach Burrell. So once I started getting fine-tuned with that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a pro. It's over.
Yeah, what a blessing it is to have an NBA champion who played with Michael Jordan as your head coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a blessing, Mike. Yeah, I heard nothing but great things about Coach Burrell. He's still there. He's doing good things. You know, the NE10 is still staying strong. Southern's still staying strong. You know, you got to
And yeah,
represent the Wildcats.
I sorry to interrupt you, but you're
No,
right.
go.
The all-time leading scorer in the league's history. Because people do get that mixed up, like, oh, you're the all-time leading scorer at Southern. Technically, yes. But it's the whole NE10. Like, it's the whole, like, when you look at the list, it goes Michael Mallory.
Hey, you can plug yourself. Don't shamelessly plug. I like it. I like it a
Yeah,
lot, Mike.
I told my dad, I was like, yeah, I'm doing my man Julio and Matt's podcast tomorrow. He said, word. He said, you gonna be humble? I said, I don't think tomorrow. I don't want to be humble tomorrow.
Yo, man, your pops, man.
You don't gotta be humble on here.
No, bro, talking shit. I want to end it. I want to end the Thunder conversation on this. We had Dev Gilligan on here, who was the player of the year your senior year. So, in a quick 1 to 2 sentences, what do you got to say about that?
I got the last laugh. We played them in the round of 32 in the NCAA playoffs, and I knocked him out. I had 40, and the bucket to give me the record is on him. I drew him out on a one-on-one screen, blew by him and laid him. But that's my guy, man. Like Dev, like I was stuck earlier this year, and Dev is the person I called, and he set up some stuff, and I was gonna go stay with him. Like that's how close me and Dev is. Like Dev is a real good dude, and like I don't take nothing. Like the NE10, a lot of it is like who's the best player on that best team, and they were the best team at that time. So I was upset when it happened, but that's nothing I can control, and I don't think he shouldn't have got it. I think he did. Like that year, he had a great year. He had a great senior year.
Yeah, we talked about his numbers before, and like you're saying though, like he really is a genuine guy. He's somebody that you know seems to care about the people around him, and obviously you know us on the Julio Nice Pod, we got nothing but respect for that dude.
Yeah.
Respect for hoopers in general.
ECAC player of the year is Michael Mallory though. That's the whole East Coast. You know
All right, we'll take it. Bring it back to the 203, baby. Bring it back to the 203. All right, so you get out of there, Southern. You start your pro career. You're in Bosnia. All right, let's go through the timeline of where you go, how each country went, and just break it down country by country. We got to know.
Bosnia, I was at my first team for 6 days.
I'm sorry. Mike, you're stupid. That's
6
all.
days.
You're stupid. Why you gotta start like that? It's not a good start.
Yo.
Yo.
Nah, so the process, you know, you pick your agent and everything. I'm not gonna say the agent's name. I respect the dude. He's a cool guy, and he's known around Waterbury. Yeah,
I know
but I have the messages that's on my phone that he told me I was done after that. Just the move I made, and I always keep them because it motivates me. But so I get to Bosnia at like 4 a.m. We drive 2 hours to the city. I go up the stairs. It's like apartment building. It's the projects. I'm like, you know, it's cool, whatever. I got a roommate. Ain't got no Wi-Fi. TV don't work. I'm on a pull-out couch. They got a big dresser drawer. Like, this your closet. We sharing one bathroom. My stove don't work. My fridge is a mini fridge that barely turn on. It's the hottest city in the whole country. They've been known to be late with payments. I was supposed to get paid upon landing. They had us running in 105-degree weather on a soccer field for like 45 to an hour straight, no basketball. Then you come back home. Then I had to walk about 1.5 miles, 2 miles up a hill to practice. Floor broke, like shit, terrible. So I never forget the day. I woke up and I was like, nah, I'm out, like flat out. I had to walk to the restaurant so I can get Wi-Fi. Call my dad and mom, woke them up and was like, hey, I'm coming back home. And my dad, people don't know this, my dad was a pro. And the team he was on folded. He got an offer. He was playing in England. He got an offer for another team in England. And the reason he didn't continue is because my mom was pregnant with me. So he came home and started working. And so when he's saying it, like I feel it because I'm like, you're a huge reason why I'm doing this because I want you to kind of live through me a little bit, and I want to I want to do it for you, like you sacrificed your dream for me. So, but like I'm like, Dad's bad, dude, and he's like, yo, it can't be that bad, and I'm sending him pictures. And all I hear on the phone was, damn, okay, yeah. So he's a big cloud. So my mom's like, all right, call your agent. I call him. Like I said, he left me some messages. He called me, tell me I was dumb. It was a dumb idea. So I hang up on him. I call Coach Burrell. He calls Ali Mack, my guy, to this day. Ali Mack's like, bet. Don't book a flight home. I got a place for you to go so you can train and stay in Europe because that's huge. Once you go home, it's hard to get back out. So I learned that. And I go to Romania. Like, I talked to the GM of the first team, and he was like, okay, cool. And I was out the next day. I went to Romania.
The next day? The next day you said you were out, you went to Romania.
Next day. Was out. That quick.
So,
Mega moves.
Yeah.
That's a crazy fucking story. So what ended up happening in Romania? What did you do in Romania?
So Romania was there's like different like competitions and stuff, but Romania was they were a FIBA Euro Cup team, and there was 6 Americans on the team. And those dudes I credit a lot to, like all 6 of them, because they showed me the ropes. They showed me what I got to do, what to do with my phone, about eating, about practice, laundry, all that stuff. Like, I love those dudes. We're best friends to this day. We got a group chat. Jordan Williams ended up being on that team. Shout out to JL. He's in the group chat. Like, those dudes, we call each other all the time. We talk all the time. And yeah, I credit them. All I did was train with them. I didn't, if something happened, I was going to be on the team, but I just trained. But I got an offer before something happened. So I left and went to Macedonia. So that was all that is within a month span.
And the living conditions were okay, like after that in Macedonia?
Yeah, Macedonia was a lot different. Like, the owner owned the apartment complex, and it was first year of the organization, new team. I pulled up to my apartment complex. I was like, oh yeah, I can tell. Like, I had a full fridge. I had a working stove. We had heat. We had a little balcony. Wi-Fi was in the other room, so my teammate was there. So if it went out, like, I had to like knock on his door, and because Wi-Fi is huge out here, so I had to go knock on his door, like, hey, restart that thing. But still, I used to get a ride to the facility. Like, everything was cool. Payments was on time. We used to get crazy bonuses because we ended up being, before I left, we ended up being second in the league, and they used to, like, we were so shockingly good. He just would challenge us like, hey, y'all win this game, I got 1,000 for you in your bank account. We win by 20. You wake up the next morning, you look at your bank account, it's a G.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it normal? Yeah, I was gonna say, is it normal to have 6 American, or would you be the 6th American, or you would have been the 7th on that team?
I would have been 7th.
So is that normally how many Americans they can have on a team? Is there a limit?
Each country is different.
Yeah.
But it usually depends on the competitions you're playing in. So when you come overseas, it's not just you playing in that country and it's domestic. Like, there's Champions Leagues, there's FIBA Euro Cup, Euro League, Euro Cup, Balkan League, Baltic League. Like, there's inter countries like VTB League, and depending on depends on how much money you got. If you got a certain amount of money, you could bring in a certain amount of Americans. But domestic leagues may say you can have all those Americans, but only 2 can be on the court at the time. Or like the league I'm in now, you can only have 1 American, but you can have a Bozeman, which is someone with dual citizenship somewhere else. So there's a bunch of Americans that, like, my teammate he has a Netherlands passport, but he's from LA. So yeah, it all depends on which country you are.
Because I was gonna say, how challenging, that was gonna be my next question. I mean, it's nice that you landed on a team with 6 Americans that kind of showed you a rope. How challenging is it to communicate with people on your team that speak a different language or don't really speak English?
I thought it would be tougher, but out here, like, just about everywhere, they start teaching English like pretty early, so they understand me, and their English just may be broken, so it's just like a puzzle. just piecing together what they're saying. But yeah, mostly everybody, like everywhere I've been, like Iceland, there's been like no issues at all. But like in Serbia and stuff, like it just may take a second, but it ends up getting across.
So like a coach is in the huddle, like when they're given whatever on the board, are they speaking? They're speaking in their language, right? They're not speaking, or do you have like a translator?
I think so.
Translate a lot of times. No, I've never had a translator or maybe a teammate like that just knows how to speak both.
Yeah.
But they're speaking in their language, and then like as we're getting up, the coach will like come over to me and be like, "Hey, this is what I want." Like he'll just draw the M on the board, and then I'm watching the M, and then when we're walking away, he'll break it down to me that way. So I've had that before, and then most of the times I sit next to the guy I know speaks great English. Shout out to my man Alexa. He used to be like, Mikey, bet.
His name is Alexa.
Sounds like the Amazon shit.
That's what I'm saying. It's pretty ironic.
Yeah.
It's Mike. It's when people think about playing overseas, man, and I know we're gonna get into it in about a couple minutes, but people think it's all about the glamour and glitz. You know what I'm saying? It's all about you get to do what you want to do, play basketball for a living, and get paid and just chill. But people really don't see the hardships there are to be a professional basketball player. And you were kind of one of the main reasons why we wanted to do this pod. I thought about you when me and Maddie discussed this pod, and me and Mike, we had conversations at the gym all the time about overcoming adversity and overcoming shit that a lot of people couldn't overcome. And Mike, your professional career has been all but glamour and glitz, man. And I just want to credit you, to sticking with to sticking with it, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people we know play overseas for a year or two, say they're getting screwed, or even go to college for a year or two, go to junior college or go somewhere for a year or two and be like, you know what? The coach is fucking with me. Then, the coach didn't fuck with my game. Like, nah, bro, you just couldn't face the adversity. That's what it was. Straight up. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? And, me and Maddie talk about it all the time. That's something that the kids nowadays, they're struggling with. They're struggling to really overcome and do the things that they want to do, but really do the things that they want to do. You're there. You're in your sixth country right now. You got your girl over there. You know what I mean? You fucking didn't have Wi-Fi. You didn't have shit to do. They were playing with your money, and you still doing what you love to do. And like I said, hats off to you, man. I'm happy for you, bro. I really am, man. So we're gonna transition, Mike. Right now you're in Iceland. You're in Iceland right now. Give us a little bit about what's going on now. It's probably, from what we read, it's a good situation. You're playing well, but again, you're running into those injuries, those nagging injuries, right? Tell us what your current situation is.
So the other day in practice, I pulled my back, and it's crazy. I just turned 27, like last month on the 8th, and I called my parents, and I was like, "So you telling me when you turn 27, the back problems start coming? Like that's how it works?"
I could have told you that.
But yeah, I pulled my back, and I've been to chiropractor 5 times within the last like 6 days. Been getting massages. I had to miss a game, but I came back the other day. But I'm doing better. Yeah, I mean, season's going pretty well. Like we're battling, hopefully make a playoff spot. We're in 9th right now. But I want to give a shout out to BJ Montero, because he had like an Instagram live during quarantine last year, and there was a lot of smoke being said towards my name, which is great.
Oh, we're shifting gears here. We're shifting. I see what you're doing here. We're shifting.
I just want to say it was amazing, and I heard everything, and I may not have said anything, but I heard everything.
Go ahead, talk nice. Go ahead. What do you got to say? Say what you want to say. Don't talk around it, Mike. We don't got time.
I just want to say 22, 6, and 5, 61% shooting, 37 from the 3, and 80 from the line. That's almost 50, 40, 90. That's almost 60, 40, 90 in a professional setting. That would be my second time, because last year it was 45 from 3, 50 from the field, 85 from the line, in a very high league in AVA 2. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of smoke. I don't know why. what did I do?
You sound like you're a good dude. I think what the most
You're a good dude.
I think the most impressive thing about it is like you just said, you didn't say nothing, but you heard it.
Yeah,
Now, listen, that's the best part, man. You just put it all up there.
yeah. I mean, I use it all. Because I mean, you sometimes, especially overseas, like you're by yourself most of the time. Like, luckily, I got my fiance out here with me, and you're by yourself. There's limited things you can do. So, and then going to games, yeah, you're there for games, but sometimes like the motivation, because everything gets repetitive. It's tough. So like things like that, like if you're really locked in, you find like the little things that like can just, oh, he said that. Yo, he said that. Like he said it was facts. Obviously it wasn't, because they didn't check my resume. And it's a very long resume. But he said it. Cool. Go out. Or, things you see on Facebook, like give me your Mount Rushmore of the NVL of your high school. And my name wasn't mentioned, which is cool because the guys ahead of me absolutely deserve it. Like Edmund Saunders, Harold Miller, Konecki, Dewey. Like there's a bunch of names. And I didn't get to play my senior year. But I was happy I got to see my dad's name up there for Kennedy. But little things like that, like, yo, your name wasn't even mentioned. Like, go kill. Like this guy, like I'm taking it out on this guy who has no idea. And it's just like, I'm sorry, but I don't get to take it out on them because I don't get a chance to play them.
Mm-hmm.
So
just to paint a picture for everybody out there who's kind of just listening and wondering what's going on, Waterbury, Connecticut is probably, I don't know, it's probably one of the most underrated cities as far as talent there is in Connecticut. And for some strange reason, we as a community, we like to consistently compare, and bring down those who've, had some significant success. Mike is obviously one of those guys. And like Mike said, we have a lot of guys who've played
so
professional.
many.
We have so many, but I think what
many.
Mike is trying to say is, there's no reason to bring down the others while you're kind of mentioning the ones who've paved the way, right? Am I right
like
there, Mike?
Enjoy the greatness that each member that you named did. Like take something from them, build them up. We don't need to be crabs in a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no reason for, like, when you do those lists, there's nothing wrong with it. But when you do the list, don't be like, why would he be up there? No, like if his name is mentioned, obviously it's that person's opinion that he had some type of greatness, whether you believe it or not. So let that man be great.
Right.
Or female. Because my mother was great too. When people see like the blocks and the timing and the rebound and stuff and the post moves, that's Mama Mallory right there. So
your mom was pinning shit on the glass?
Oh, listen, I wish people could see the driveway workouts I used to have to, like the one-on-ones with my parents. Oh Lord.
Mike, yeah, I'm saying that, and Matt's gonna say what he has to say about you in pickup, and again, we're kind of running out. We're gonna because I brought Maddie down to pick up in Waterbury, and obviously it was different. But I just want to say first, every time we play pickup, Mike, and I get to the cup and I play off two, I gotta throw that bitch high, because if I don't throw it high, Mike's just fucking outlet on the fucking glass, man. It's fucking crazy.
Hey,
you really do have great athletic ability.
Listen, I'm 6'2" on a good day, right? I'm playing in Iceland, a professional basketball league. I am 4th in blocks.
I believe that.
Come on, son. Stop playing with me.
Maddie, tell him the story you want to tell Mike. Tell him when I brought him down to pick up. I brought Maddie down to pick up.
At the rec?
I think it was at the Y. I think we played at the Y and the rec.
No,
back to back.
It was back to back. I had two experiences.
Yeah.
I had two experiences. The first time when we were playing, we're at the rec, and I was on. No, I think it was the next day at the Y, because I was on your team. I was on your team at the rec.
Oh, you were playing with 2D. We were playing with 2D at the rec.
Yeah. But then at the Y, I had two experiences. I played with Mike first, which again, there's nothing wrong with playing with Mike. At first, I thought your name was Mike Lowry. So
Mike
Lowry. Me and Julio always just say that stuff. Oh, Mike Lowry. But I was messing with Julio because after pickup, I was like, yeah, man, Mike didn't pass me the goddamn ball. But he scored every time.
With a high percentage. He's such a high percentage at pickup.
I'm just mad. I just thought it was funny, but no, it was fun playing with you. The other experience, Mike, was I think whatever, I don't know. We played 1 or 2 games, and then some other dude that I didn't know at the Y, Julio knew him, was like he was waiting to come on, so he was picking his 4. And he didn't pick me, and we were down with one of the dudes, Marcus. We were down there with, and he was like, "Welcome to the inner city, white boy,"
because he didn't get picked.
Because he didn't pick me. I was like, "Damn." Julio was like trying to tell the guy, like, "You know who he is? Like he played college basketball."
But, bro, Mike, it was Louis. It was Louis, bro. Louis didn't pick him, bro. I was like, Louis, what the fuck is your problem?
Louis is hilarious. That's my guy. Louis is hilarious. Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Didn't get picked.
Mike, man, love it. Love your story, man. Love what you have, what you bring to the table. We got to kind of wrap this thing up, man. I wish we can talk more. We will talk more because I'm very interested in the Waterbury conversation because we can talk days on that. But just for your mind, Mike, you are, one of my top 10, brother. You're my top. You're my
thanks,
top.
man.
That's why you're on the pod first. Yeah, you're first on the pod.
See.
So before we wrap up, Mike, we gotta do the either or. You watch the episode. You do the either or. Some questions are relatable to where you're at, and some are just really random. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Maddie, let me know when you're ready, and we can do the damn thing.
All right, let's go.
All right. I said this on the last one. The Knicks or the Nets? We in 5th place. What'd you say?
Nets.
We said Nets in a split second. He didn't even think about it. He didn't even take time to think about that.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Uggs or Tims?
Tims.
I like Uggs, bro. Uggs are changing the game right now. Coach Carter or Glory Road?
Coach Carter.
Duke or North Carolina? They're playing today.
North Carolina.
Easy? Easy?
My family from North Carolina, and we bleed blue. Michael Jordan, Tar Heels. That's what we do.
Oh, Sean May. I just threw that random guy. Sean May, North Carolina.
Sean May's playing in Italy right now for Trento. He getting buckets, yeah.
Really?
He probably in the post like semi-pro. Thrown it. I ain't ready.
Call of Duty or Fortnite?
Call of Duty.
Kyrie or AI?
AI.
Jokic or Embiid?
Embiid.
This year?
This year for like Embiid over Jokic this year. Past Jokic.
The North End Rec or the South End Rec?
North End.
Last one. Dominic's or Angelina's Pizza?
Dominic's.
Come on, bro. Like, yo, it's too thin. It's too thin.
Bro, Dominic and Pia is goated. It can't get no better.
You know why I'm mad at them? They went from 125 a slice to 150 a slice. I don't like that.
They deserve that. They deserve that 25 cents, bro. I can't. That's one of the first things I'm going to as soon as I get home.
Dominic's. Dominic's, Maddie, is a pizza place right next to the Y downtown. We used to just play pickup at the Y and just go to Dominic's for 2 hours. Have a Welch's. Have a nice Welch's.
Welch's can of dry something.
Mike, thanks for your time, brother. Like I said, man, keep doing what you're doing, man. We're proud of you in Waterbury. I don't care what no one says, man. And you're really an inspiration to those young guys out there for sure, brother.
Thanks, man. I can't wait to come back up.
Mike, you're the only dude that if I play pickup with, I don't care if you pass me the ball. I'll just play D and give you the ball. I'll be on the wing if you need me. I'll just be standing there.
I got you.
Mike, good luck, brother. Thanks again.
Thank you.
I think about you every night and day, and I can't get you out my head. It's just some things I gotta say. So I've thought about everything we fought about, all the times I called you out, all the times we scream and shout. I called you up when it was like 2:30 in the morning. I'm sorry, know you sleeping and the conversation's boring, but It's apparent I can't get you out my head, and I would pay a lot of money to lay with you in your bed again. I know that you don't care, but I still meet you there, hand in hand, golden road, feet in sand, all that shit. No, I broke your heart, but tell me, did I break all of it? I told you all my fears and everything that I believed in, so I just hope that you don't tell that other dude you're seeing, or anybody else. See, the problem was I loved you, I just forgot to love myself.